We just got the official ratings for every team in Madden 26, but what are the best teams to use to win the most games? As things like speed, X factors, and superstar abilities are much more important when determining outcomes. So if you guys want to see what are the best teams to use to win more games in Madden 26, stick around after the intro. If you guys are looking for fast, cheap, reliable MUT coins, check out my coin sponsors at MMOXP.com and use discount code MONEYSHOT for 6% off your order. Link in the description below. The champ is here! Welcome back, Money Teams. This is Madden Money Shot, stepping out the Madden cheese as always. In today's video, I'm going to give you guys the top 10 teams to use in Madden 26 when you pick this game up day one, starting off with an honorable mention that nobody's going to expect. But before I do, as always, if you guys want to see more videos like this, please make sure to be a subscriber, hit the like button, let me know in the comment section. Other than that, it's going to get right into the video. And if you guys are looking to get better on offense or defense in Madden 26, I already have my full strategy guides out on my website, MaddenMoneyShot.com, as well as on my Patreon, with team playbooks rolling out later this week. But you can download these or any of my ebooks instantly simply by clicking links in the description or the top pinned comment. Starting, we have an honorable mention because I want to mention the things that I'm looking for first when it comes to making this list. Number one, you have to have a reasonable quarterback, a good quarterback, and then after that, speed is pretty much king when it comes to Madden and pretty much anything else. And if you remember the Raiders about a decade or so ago, when they had Terrell Pryor at quarterback, who was like 90 speed, they had Darius Hayward-Bay, Jacoby Ford, Darren, I think it was Darren McFadden, right? They had a ton of just speed guys all over the field. Even though they weren't highly rated, it made the Raiders a really overpowered team. Well, the Raiders are looking like that again, as they have a lot of really fast players, starting off with Geno Smith, who's an 87 speed, which is probably one of the highest speeds as far as quarterbacks are concerned. They got Ashton Genty, they picked in the first round, one of the higher rated running backs already. He should be a very solid player. Then you get to the receiving core. Jacoby Myers is really the only receiver that they have. But if you look at the speed ratings, once again, you got Trey Tucker, who's a 95 speed. Then you go down a little bit, they drafted a 6'5" receiver named Dante Thornton Jr., I think was out of Tennessee. He's a 96 speed. So that's three really good receivers just based off of speed. Now this guy's 6'5", 96 speed. That's crazy. So he's going to be an absolute cheat code the exact same way. You get the tight end, Brock Bowers might be the best tight end in the entire game, especially when it comes to receiving. The offensive line is pretty solid. I mean, it's not, that's not really important to me if I'm being honest. Offensive line is one of the least important things. Then you get to the defense. Max Crosby, obviously a game wrecker. You have a couple of decent speed linebackers, which is typically all you really need is just a little bit of speed when it comes to them, as they did pick up Jermaine Pratt from Cincinnati, and they also have Devin White, but two 88 speed linebackers. It is definitely helpful when it comes to blitzes. But then you get to the secondary once again, and they're super fast one more time, as they have Eric Stokes, Darian Porter, and then Jacorian Bennett was actually traded to the Eagles recently, so he's going to be on the Eagles roster by the time they do an update. But these guys are all 95 plus speed. No big deal. Even if you lose that guy, you also have the Cameron Richardson, who's 6'2", 94 speed. So they got four guys at the moment who are above 94 speed, and they're all pretty tall as well. As you can see, we got a 6'3" guy here, 6'2" guy here. So height and speed is always important no matter what position you're playing, especially in the secondary. Then you get to the safeties. Once again, low ratings, but you got a 6'2" Lonnie Johnson Jr., who's a 92 speed on one side, and then you also got Jeremy Chin, who's 6'3", 91 speed, who's got a much higher overall. I want to talk about the Bucs next, and that's because the Bucs are one of my Super Bowl sleepers, as they have an absolutely loaded offensive roster when it comes to guys like Baker Mayfield, who has a 96 or 94 throw power, 86 speed, has superstar abilities, got two good running backs in Bucky Irvin and Rashad White. You got three good receivers in Evans, Godwin, and their first round pick in Egbuka, but they also got Trey Palmer, who's a 95 speed. So if you're playing in like a regular game, I'd probably put him in above Egbuka, although if you're playing in a franchise, obviously you want to grow Egbuka, your first round pick. When it comes to tight end, K-Dot's solid, but they also got a one-year guy named Devin Culp, who's got 90 speed. So that would definitely be the guy that I'd work up or just use in general. The offensive line is solid, one of the best left tackles in the game. When you get to the defensive line, you got a lot of speed once again. Hassan Reddick coming off the edge, 85 speed. And then the other side, Diaby coming off the edge at an 89 speed. So they have a lot of speed coming at the quarterback. Plus, Vita Vea is one of the best defensive tackles in the entire game. The linebacking core is okay with Levante David and a couple of cheap speed guys. When you get to the secondary, once again, got a lot of speed once again. Like 4 or 5 guys here above 92 speed, which is important. Jamal Dean, who is a 6'1", 92 speed guy. Zaire McCollum, 6'2", 93 speed. Then you got Antoine Winfield Jr., one of the best safeties in the game on one side. Next up, we got the Cowboys with guys like Dak Prescott, who is a superstar. The running back situation is a little bit gray, but you do have Jaden Blue, a 93 overall rookie. So I would probably play him just because of the speed. When he gets to receiver, though, you got much better options. CeeDee Lamb being one of the best in the game, George Pickens being a guy that can go up and get the ball, and then you got guys like Kevontae Turpin, who's a 97 speed. Their offensive line is, decent once again. That's not too important to me. But when you get to the defense, lots of speed once again. Micah Parsons, one of the fastest guys in the game when it comes to rushing the quarterback. Defensive tackle, once again, kind of a weak spot because, you know, you need somebody to plug the middle. But they do have some really good linebackers once again. Speed all over the field with Damone Clark, who's a 90 speed. You have DeMar Overshown, who's an 88 speed. When you get to the secondary, two of the better cornerbacks in Deron Bland and Trayvon Diggs, one of the best cornerback tandems. And then they also drafted Shavon Ravello, 6'2" with 93 speed. That'd be a great guy to work up. They got Kyer Elam, who I guess the Bills must have gave up on pretty quick, 93 speed, 6'1". So a lot of really good young guys to work up in franchise. Next up, we got the Packers, and I can't believe that Jordan Love doesn't at least have superstar abilities. I mean, he's good enough for that, I would imagine. If you like speed, though, you can always run with Malik Willis, 90 speed guy. You can work him up. He's still young. One of the best running backs in the game, and Josh Jacobs had a monster year last year. And then they also have some of the fastest receiving core in the entire league with Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, McCole Hardman, all above 94 speed. And then you got guys like Matthew Golden, who was their first-round pick, and Romeo Doubs is a really solid receiver, too. So pick some of these young guys, work them up in franchise. Two tight ends that could work up in franchise, too, and Tucker Kraft, who's an 88 speed, and Luke Musgrave, both young at an 89 speed. So they have a lot of speed there. Pretty solid offensive line. When it comes to the defense, they have some solid rushers, but it's really all about their linebackers, as they have Edgar and Cooper, who's an 89 speed, and Quay Walker, who's an 88 speed. Really fast guys there. The cornerback position took a big hit. They don't have a great ton of talent here, though. Hobbs is solid. And then they got two really good safeties, and Xavier McKinney, who's one of the best in the game, and Isaiah Simmons, who has gotten lost in the shuffle, but this guy's still 6'4", 91 speed. You want to either user him as the user middle linebacker on the field or have him, you know, playing deep safety, as those measurables are something that you don't get very often in Madden. Next up, we got the Steelers, who has the highest rated defense in the entire game. The offense, though, not so much, which is why they're a little bit lower on this list. But Aaron Rodgers is still solid. You can still get it done with him. At running back, not great either. They did draft Caleb Johnson, so you got a young guy to work up. But, I mean, I actually like Kenny Gainwell. He's solid, but he's a former Eagles player. Jalen Warren's okay. When you get to receivers, though, they have a little bit more in the speed department with an absolute stud in DK Metcalf, who I think went down a speed point for some reason. But you also got Calvin Austin, who's not tall, but he's 95 speed, and a couple of other guys like Scotty Miller and Roman Wilson. So there's definitely speed on the roster. I would work that. When you get to tight end, you also have Jonnu Smith, who they traded for, I think, towards the end of right before the season started, or right before the training camp started. 89 speed tight end, and Freiermuth, also very good. The offensive line is pretty average, but like I said, that's not the most important thing. Then you get to the defense. TJ Watt, one of the best players in the game. Alex Highsmith, also really solid rusher. Cameron Hayward, obviously one of the best, once again, X factors, superstar abilities, all that stuff in the front seven. You get to the linebackers, Patrick McQueen, solid. You have Peyton Wilson here, I think was their first or one of their draft picks last year. He's a 91 speed. You get to the cornerbacks. This is really where what makes them on this list at this point, is because they got Jalen Ramsey, Darius Slay, and you have Joey Porter. Maybe the best three cornerbacks set in the entire game. Next up, we got the Lions, and if they had a little bit more speed on Jared Goff, I think this would be a little bit higher on the list. But the real, strength of this team is Jahmyr Gibbs in this offensive line, one of the fastest, most talented running backs in the game with superstar abilities. You also got David Montgomery, so you got two really strong backs, and you have some really good receivers as well with Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's the highest rated, but the best on this team is definitely Jameson Williams, 6'2", 98 speed. Sam Laporta, one of the best tight ends as well, 86 speed, pretty solid. But like I said, this offensive line, typically it doesn't matter too much. But when it comes to, this line, they have one of the best lines in the game. So that's definitely a benefit. When you get to the defense, you got Hutch, who's definitely one of the best edge rushers in the game. Some really good linebackers, especially when it comes to Jack Campbell, and just some cheap speed guys, as I saw an 88 speed guy here that you could use her. When you get to the secondary, though, got some solid players like DJ Reed. The cornerbacks aren't great. Terrion Arnold's a young guy, could probably work him up. You also got Rakestraw, who's a young guy as well. So if you're in a franchise, you can work at the cornerbacks. Really good safety combination, though, with Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch, as they have one of the best safety tandems in the game. Next up, we got the Dolphins, and this is the team that, every year they're just loaded with speed. Tua kind of has a little bit of a weak arm, but it doesn't matter when you have the speed that you have around him. With guys like A-Chain, who's a 96 speed, might be the fastest running back in the game. Jalen Wright, who's a 93 speed. You got really fast receivers in Waddle and Hill, which hasn't changed, two of the fastest in the entire game. And then they also got Darren Waller out of retirement, who's 6'6", 88 speed. So you're loaded with speed and weapons. You get to the defensive side, too. They got a lot of really good edge players. Jalen Phillips, Chop Robinson, 88 speed Chop Robinson, Bradley Chubb. Got some really good speed at linebackers, and Willie Gay. They also got Jordan Brooks. I don't know who this guy is, a rookie. Eugene Asante's 90 speed. I think he's the fastest, one of the fastest linebackers as far as rookies in the entire game. And Terrell Dodson, 89 speed. Channing Tindall, I don't know how he's not progressing, 91 speed. Just tons of speed all over the place. The secondary, though, took a step back when they lost some corners, but they did pick up Minka Fitzpatrick in a trade, who probably be your highest rated cornerback. Next up, we got the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, obviously one of the best quarterbacks in the game, one of the strongest arms in the game. Really good backup, too, in Gardner Minshew this year, which is cool. But they still have Pacheco, 93 speed running back. Definitely didn't look great last year, but they didn't hurt his rating, so it's not like it matters. This isn't based off of real life. You get to the receiving core. They got a 99 speed receiver, only one in the game. So just send that guy on fly routes and just throw it over the top. But they also got Hollywood Brown, who's 94 speed. And you got Rashee Rice, who's probably the best receiver on the team. But speed is really the important part here. As you can see, they have a lot of that. Kelsey's still hanging around, 82 speed, dropping, but he's still a 93 overall. He's going to get open. And then they have a solid offensive line. When it comes to the defensive line, Karlaftis is really good. But, you know, it's really all about Chris Jones, who's I think the highest rated defensive tackle. Solid linebackers, one of the best linebacking cores in the game. Leo Chanel, 88 speed. Nick Bolton, 87 speed. And Drew Tranquil, all of them above 80 overall and 80 in the high 80s in speed. So really solid linebacking core. Secondary is really good too. Trent McDuffie, I think it was the 4th highest rated cornerback. And then you got Watson here, 6'2", 93 speed. Young guy, you can work him up in a franchise. And then next up, we got the Philadelphia Eagles, a team that absolutely smoked their ass in the Super Bowl. Although this might be the best roster in football. I don't think it's the best roster in Madden. It's mostly because Jalen Hurts' throw power is only an 86, but he does have a 90 change of direction and an 89 speed. So he's definitely a really good running quarterback, but he needs more throw power to take advantage of some of these other weapons. They do have one of the best running backs in the game in Saquon Barkley, 9 overall, 95 speed, who just has absolutely, you know, all the abilities you would want. You got really good receivers also in A.J. Brown, who I think is underrated, Devontae Smith, and even Jahan Dotson, but they don't have an elite speed guy. They have guys at the height are only 92 speed, and you probably want somebody a little bit faster than that. Dallas Goedert, one of the best blocking tight ends in the game, guys, superstar ability back. He's an A6 overall. One of the best lines in the game, but once again, it's not the most important thing. Well, they do have a 96 left tackle, 88 left guard, and a 99 overall right tackle, so they're not going to be giving up a ton of pressure. You got really good speed on defense with Nolan Smith, who's 90 speed coming off the edge on one side, one of the best defensive tackles in the game in Jalen Carter, and one of the fastest defensive tackles in the game in Jordan Davis as well. They also got some really good linebackers as far as Nakobe Dean, Zach Bond, who's a superstar, and their first round pick, Jahad Campbell, is an 89 speed. They could also use her. Ben Van Summer is a 91 speed with 93 acceleration. He's actually a fullback now. Really good cornerbacks. I mentioned Bennett, who they traded for from the Raiders, with a 95 speed, which also got 94 speed. Quinyon Mitchell, who's an 85 overall, and Cooper DeJean, who's 92 speed as well. Really good players there. You got Adoree Jackson and Keely Ringo, who's 6'2", 94 speed. Great player to work up. This guy here also out of Penn State, 93 speed, although I think he's a little bit deep on the depth chart. And then the safeties really aren't that great. So they do have a couple of holes here and there that keep them from the #1 spot. But they do also have a ton of extra draft picks in the next couple of drafts if you get them in a franchise mode. Next up, we got the Ravens, who probably have the best running back quarterback combo in the entire game, with Lamar Jackson, who might be the cheapest quarterback in the entire game at 96 speed and of a bunch of abilities. Also Derrick Henry, 93 speed, 98 overall, absolute freight train of a player. You also got a really good trade piece here too if you're playing in a franchise with Keith Mitchell, who's at 94 speed, 95 acceleration. But yeah, I mean, you just have, you know, 3 good receivers, not spectacular. I mean, Zay Flowers is probably the best. 2 of these guys are young, but Hopkins is just like a rental. You get to the tight ends, you also have 2 tight ends over 80 with Likely and Andrews, who's one of the better tight ends in the game as well. Solid offensive line. On the defensive side, they're really strong too. I mean, they do have Mike Greeno, they got in the second round. They got him listed as an 88 speed. And Ojabo, who never actually became anything from when he was drafted, but still really fast player at 87 speed. You got Defi Owa, 89 speed. So lots of guys to get after the quarterback. Really solid defensive tackle here with superstar abilities for the middle of the field, which you really need. And then you got good linebackers as well, with one of the best in the game in Roquan Smith. You got Trenton Simpson, who's been on the roster for a while, 91 speed guy. Looks like he's going to get his chance to play this year as well. And then you got really good cornerbacks once again with Humphrey, Jair Alexander, who they picked up once the Packers dropped him, and Chidobe Awuzie. As you can see, they also got Nate Wiggins, who was, I think, their second round pick last year. Maybe it was their first round pick, 96 speed guy. So, and he's one of my favorites. He's 6'2" as well. So solid secondary, and you could probably trade one of these guys in a franchise. Then you get back to the safeties, and they drafted Malachi Starks, I think, in the first round this year, 89 speed rookie, and you also have Kyle Hamilton, who's one of the best safeties in the game, at 90 overall. With a 6'4" frame, which is huge. So I'm gonna end the video there, but if you guys want to see more Madden 26 videos that I already put out, I'll pop it up on screen, so just click links. And until next time, thanks for watching, man. My shit out. Need more help or just want to show your support? Then head over to my Patreon and join my team, where you can get exclusive content like ebooks and bonus plays, as well as early access to my vids and more. Link in the description below.